Alright, welcome to seasparkles Corner. In this episode we have Exgraver from the JinBao knockoff Hercules set. And I have to say, this one here, I've seen this one transformed so many different ways in the vehicle mode, but I find this combination here does the best because it hides the gap syndrome a lot, and unfortunately this was the best I could do to get it in its vehicle mode because it is tipped, and I will be getting to that in a moment when I begin the transformation video. As is with the entire JinBao Hercules set, there is one major problem. There is no articulation in here despite how this looks, and that is because of the entire split gimmick it has for its robot modes, which I do have to admit I am growing to like very much. Okay, so here we go. Let's get to transfer. Oh, by the way, I just left the hand here to illustrate you can actually store the hands of JinBao Hercules in the vehicle mode if you so choose. If you don't want to, just take and pull it off, set it aside, and then you have a massive open void in the back that you can't do nothing about. Yay for storage to hide a gap, I guess. So let's get to the transformation, shall we? I am going to, of course, do the parts forming first. Now, to basically split this one, what I tend to do is I take advantage of the scoop, bring it around, and then boop, and then just work my way up to pop everything open, and then we have this very lovely opening. And with the piston here, they could have articulated the piston and then have a ball joint here, but I think the only reason they don't is because it makes it easier to basically close this back up, and that is just a simple case of bringing it back and then just snap everything together. This is the easiest one to separate, in my opinion. Alright, so let's get to transforming the main body, shall we? Now, I said I was going to get to the explanation on this weird, angle, but here's what the problem is. They got the pin here, the peg here to go into the post hole here, and then they have a weird angle here, which is then unfortunately arcing this up. Now, they could have solved it and prevented the entire problem by just simply having this groove here cut a little bit lower and then shuffling these two pegs so that we could sit more flat. That's it. That's all what I did on. So let's get to transforming Scavenger, I think is this one's name, and the proper Devastator, if I'm remembering that right. Scavenger, and then flip the feet out. Let's flip that foot down and then bring the entire body around, and of course it has the slide in thing going on here. I have to slide that back in, and then now let's bring that arm out, release the end, release this, swing that down, bring the shoulders down, and we've got JinBao Exgraver in its robot mode. And let's bring up these unique split scoop design, which you can mostly do anything you would to angle this, and of course it popped right off. Let's pop this back on, and then let's firm it up a little bit. Now you can have that up or you can have that down. I'm going to be having that down because up it's just a no man's land on the detail front. Now this one is probably got the hardest. I want to just let that in his hand because storage, yay for storage. All right, now here is the JinBao. Stay up. Okay, here we have the JinBao Exgraver slash Devastator Scavenger slash part of Hercules' right arm. Now, This one's very, very low key on the backpack, but legs are just looking a wee bit odd. But then again, Scavenger's legs has always been kind of an oddball right along with the Bone Crusher, which we'll be looking at next since that's the other arm. Alright, so for articulation, the shoulders, because of the method of transformation that is employed, is of course, I think, yep, it is nothing. Look, you can swing it up, swing it down, and no elbow joints. Hands is a swivel, but a fairly stiff swivel. Of course, you got your waist swivel, and you got makes transformation a sort of backwards ab crunch, which is a bit silly. And then of course you got your knee here, which ain't too bad of a knee there, and the foot is of course just arbitrarily there with no heel spike. And if I can get him to stand up long enough, I'll get the team in here for a group shot. Alright, a little bit of standing. There you got Exgraver, Bad Blender, Structor. Kind of makes you wonder what they were thinking when they named these guys. Dr. Crank and Heavy Labor. I do have to admit the team's coming together, and I do have to admit they get credit for one thing. They got that character going on. They got character. And they know it. Alright, there you go. There you go. Somebody sharing on Facebook again. There you go. And there you go. Alright. I have to unfortunately give this dude, I have to say, fortunately, one thing is that this guy here is really, feels like the weak link of the entire team in his individual robot mode on his own. I mean, yeah, he's got the pain apps, but just all around, he just feels, it just feel like they had a goal to make him an arm, and that's basically it. I mean, the vehicle mode has got problems, his robot mode's got problems. I mean, Heavy Labor, I mean, this is the only other one with the problems in the robot mode. Yeah, sure, knock him over, why don't I? Alright. Alright. There we go. Ever since the word, both of these vehicle modes has problems. Point blank, they have problems. This one has problems because he had all around hand, which I just now accidentally sent to the floor. This one's vehicle mode has a problem because it's just like they messed up on two parts on the sculpt. But at least this one's robot mode is pulling off a fairly okay robot mode. This one's robot mode is just, so they took an already messed up vehicle mode and just spat out a robot. In every case of Devastator, there's always multiple parts that has problems because you're putting 6 robots together to make one big robot. In this case, this is a knockoff set, so that means I forgive mistakes like this. Given 3 of them pulls off a very good robot mode, looks wise. At least for Devastator. So that's, so far, 2 out of 5. I guess it's going to be 3 when it gets to the other arm, since that's Bone Crusher. Alright. There you go. And as always, to our viewers who just watch and don't subscribe, thank you for watching. To our subscribers, a big thank you. And to our notification watch only requires you to subscribe. and use the bell to get notified when we do an upload. An extra big thank you, and to our Patreon, a huge thank you. As always, peace out and palm in your face.